Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are looking at the best formations in FC24. A little bit different from the last time I did it. Ultimately, at this point in the game, I've used a lot more formations. The game's been out a month. Just over a month, really, if you include the Ultimate Edition. I've played probably somewhere around 550 to 600 games. I've tested out a lot of formations. This is my team right now. It's a lot better than it was at the start of the game. I'm very happy with how it's coming along. We'll get this Lorente to an 87 tonight. If you're not already tuned into my streams, get involved. Every single UK evening, I'm streaming, playing a mix of stuff, talking about the game. Always try to be interactive and hopefully entertaining and help you guys out. So I'd love to see some of you guys in there. But yeah, formations. This is not the formation that I'm playing. This is just a crazy way I'm getting chemistry right now. I'm not 100% convinced on Coman. I got him untradeable. Decent pull, obviously. I'm not replacing Van Dijk or Blanc with him. I might sell Gerd Muller and put Messi back up front. Messi's not as good as Muller, but I could put Patelas back in for Coman, and she's a lot better than Coman, I think. But anyway, that formation, before you ask, is purely just to get me chemistry. So, looking at formations, I'm going to go through them all again. Normally, I do a top 5 for these videos, but I'm going to go through them, and then I'll round it off at the end with some of my particular favourites. We'll obviously spend a little bit more time on the ones that I really like. So, 4-5-1. To me, it definitely has its uses. I've tried it out this year. I mean, a jelly bean. Maybe I shouldn't eat during my videos. Jelly bean gone. 4-5-1. Ultimately, this formation, like a lot of formations, is a lot more viable because of how in-depth instructions are now. They're not super in-depth compared to what they used to be. Are you sick to death of getting out-teamed on FC24? Want that God squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out iggm.com today. The best and most reliable place to get coins for your ultimate team. Use the link in the description and code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out iggm.com today. But they're a lot more viable in the sense of they actually do a lot more now. I just don't like this formation the way it's generally set up. Any formation that doesn't have 2 strikers instantly has a big negative to me. This formation is just a little bit too negative as a main formation. Every formation probably has some viability, whether you want to play as an all-out attack or all-out defense. I'm mostly talking here about formations that would be really good as a standard tactic. So I'm not a big fan of that. 4-1-4-1. Too defensive for me. Very limited. Probably a good all-out defense one. 4-2-3-1 has the big weakness of not having 2 strikers. Do I think it's viable? Yes. It's a very good all-out defense tactic. I do think it's a decent one to play. It's probably somewhere around 4th to 6th best in the game for me in terms of my experience. Very well-rounded, very good at keeping the ball. It's a bit negative, and I do miss the lack of 2 strikers. However, on a game where you need width, you need outlets, I think it's very good for that. So it's definitely got its uses. This variation probably is better suited to the all-out defense. So effectively the difference is that the Ram and Lamb become a left mid and right mid. So it's better at keeping the ball, but not as good going forward. 4-5-1 second variation. Don't know why it's not next to that. It's pretty identical, really, except for you just have no cams. I don't think they're left. I think they're still left mid and right mids. I think they're not left wing and right winger. 4-4-1-1. 4-4-1-1 is basically a hybrid of the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1. You could use either version. One's a centre forward, one's a cam. I wouldn't use these personally. I don't think they're that great. Basically, they're a mix of 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2, and they're not as good as either of them at what they want to be good at. 4-4-2, my number one formation in the game at the moment. I love it. I've hit 20-0 last weekend with it. Really like it. Been climbing up elite division rivals. Obviously, the season's about to end, but yeah, has a bit of everything. Does it have any weaknesses? Sure, but it's a brilliant formation, very well rounded. 2 strikers, width, very good at defending. I think it excels more when you've got creative players in the middle, but I really like this formation. I prefer the version with centre mids. The one with CDMs was probably a bit more defensive. The narrow, I tried this out for a few games earlier on this FIFA. I've not seen anyone really have much joy with it. I think when you're playing someone you're a lot better than, this formation's good. It could be a fun weekend league tactic for high-rated players. But in Rivals, I think it's very open because you have to attack with the fullbacks. If your fullbacks don't attack, it's a lot weaker. So for me, good formation, but a little bit too limited in the defense. It's just you're way too open. This version, pretty similar. Well, you don't have to. You get the width a bit more naturally, but then you don't get the strength for the middle. So it's definitely got some strengths, but not well rounded enough in my opinion. 4-2-2, pretty good this year. The 4-2-2 is pretty good in my opinion because the Lamb and Ram in this formation give you arguably the best all-round experience for long shots. There might not be a better formation in the game for long shots than this. You get 2 strikers and a Lamb and a Ram. However, the middle maybe not quite as good. It doesn't get the same width that the 4-4-2 have. You might be thinking, Zell, why would you use this over the 4-4-2? The 4-4-2 gives better natural width, and the centre mids get involved a bit more than the CDMs in this. I think it's a bit more balanced, but very good formation still. 4-3-1-2. Effectively the same as the narrow, just without a CDM. Maybe a bit better formation, but not much. The 4-1-3-2. I'd be interested to try this. It's pretty similar reality to the 4-4-2. You know what? I might even experiment and try Coleman as the CDM in this, and then Bonmatty as the middle centre. I might give that a try and see how it works. I've not really used it though, but I can imagine it should be decent. 4-3-3. Honestly, all of these are fairly similar. My favourite always tends to be the one with the centre forward. You can play him as a bit of a false 9 and rotate around him. You need your centre mids to attack. It is a bit vulnerable defensively. 4-3-3s are pretty solid. I don't think they're generally better than any of the top meta formations. 4-3-2-1, absolutely brilliant still. My second favourite, probably the formation I've used most this year. It's really good. The free forwards you're getting it brilliant. Give you lots of attacking options. The flat back 4, you do need one of the fullbacks to attack a bit. Your midfield and one of the forwards will make it a 4-4-2 when you're defending. I just don't think it gives us naturally good counter-attack, and I think it's a little bit more vulnerable than the 4-4-2, but still very good. 4-2-1-3. Bit of a weird formation. For me, this would be more of an all-out attack one, in my opinion. 4-2-4, similar. I've seen people use this pretty effectively. The 5 backs, they're pretty good, but again, I think they're not as good at counter-attacking, and they do leave yourself more vulnerable if you have to attack with the wing-backs. So they're good, and if you put everyone to stay back, they're probably very good defensively. 3 backs, my favourite out of all these that I've used is the 3-5-2. I just like with the 3-5-2 that you get the triangle of the cam and the 2 strikers. You get that in this formation, but the centre mids become CDMs, and I think that adds a little bit more stability. So in my opinion, it's a little bit more well-rounded than some of the other 3 backs. The 3-4-3 is arguably the best formation in the game when it comes to all-out attack, but it does leave a lot defensively. Sometimes you're too open on a game where it is easy to counter-attack people. Hopefully this video has helped you out. Hopefully you've been able to learn a bit about this. To sum it up, my favourite 2 formations fairly comfortably, the 4-3-2-1, and my favourite is the 4-4-2. But there's a lot of other good viable ones. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Keep it spicy. See you guys in the next one. Peace.